Have you ever heard that we humans only use 10% of our brains? It's a very popular idea. You see it in movies and on television shows all the time. Characters unlock the other 90%, move objects with their minds, or learn a new language in seconds. It sounds amazing, doesn't it? The idea suggests a huge untapped reservoir of mental power. It's captured our imaginations for decades. But here's the thing. That idea is completely 100% a myth. It's not true. It's science fiction, not science fact. It doesn't line up with what we know about the body and brain. Science, from patients with brain injuries to real-time brain imaging, shows a different story. You are using pretty much all of your brain all the time. Even when you are sleeping, your brain is hard at work. Think about it. Your brain is mission control. It's in charge of everything. It's time to move past the myth and get to the real science. How do we know for sure that we use our whole brain? Well, consider this. We have amazing technologies now that let us peek inside the human head and watch the brain as it works. These tools are called brain imaging scanners, functional magnetic resonance imaging, or fMRI, positron emission tomography, or PET. These machines can detect where blood is flowing in the brain. When a part of your brain is working hard on a task, it needs more oxygen, and the blood delivers that oxygen. So, by tracking the blood flow, scientists can create a map showing exactly which parts of the brain are active at any given moment. What these scans show is truly remarkable. They reveal that no matter what a person is doing, their brain is lighting up with activity all over the place. Listening to music, solving a puzzle, remembering a face. Even for something that seems very simple, like talking to a friend, multiple brain regions have to work together. One part helps you form the words. Another part helps you understand what your friend is saying. Other parts process the emotional tone of the conversation, and they help you remember what you are talking about. Let's talk about energy. Your brain is a real energy hog. Think about your body as a whole. Your brain only makes up about 2% of your total body weight, which is not very much. You might have an arm or a leg that weighs more than your brain. But here's the amazing part. This small organ uses about 20% of all the oxygen you breathe and 20% of all the calories you consume. That is a huge amount of energy for such a small part of your body. It's like having a small appliance in your house that uses more electricity than everything else combined. This high energy consumption is a major clue that the whole thing is working hard, because billions of brain cells, called neurons, are constantly firing electrical signals to communicate with each other. This communication is what allows you to think, feel, act. Maintaining these cells and sending these signals takes a tremendous amount of metabolic energy. The body simply would not waste so many precious resources on an organ that was only operating at 10% of its capacity. From an evolutionary perspective, it would make no sense to develop and maintain such a costly organ if most of it was useless. During sleep, it's busy consolidating memories. That means strengthening the important memories from the day. So the next time you feel tired after a long day of thinking or learning, you can thank your energy-guzzling brain. If the 10% myth is so obviously wrong, why do people start believing it in the first place? And why does it continue to be so popular? The exact origin is a bit murky, but we can trace it back to a few possible sources from over a century ago. One theory is that it came from a misunderstanding of the work of an early psychologist and philosopher named William James. Around the turn of the 20th century, he wrote that the average person rarely achieves more than a small fraction of their full potential. He was talking about our potential as people, not our physical brain usage, but the idea may have been misinterpreted. In the early days of studying the brain, scientists could identify the functions of some major regions, like the motor cortex that controls movement. However, there were large areas of the brain, now known as association cortices, whose functions weren't immediately obvious. When these areas were stimulated, nothing seemed to happen. Some early researchers may have referred to these as silent areas, leading to the incorrect assumption that they did nothing at all. We now know these areas are crucial for complex functions like language. The myth was also likely boosted by people trying to sell self-help products or programs. It's a very appealing marketing message. You are only using a fraction of your brain, but my book, seminar, or pill can help you unlock the rest. Over the years, this idea was repeated so many times in articles, books, and eventually movies that pushed the idea into popular culture. It became a piece of common knowledge, even though it was never based on solid scientific fact. It's a classic example of a truth that becomes true simply because it is repeated so often. So the 10% myth is really a combination of historical misinterpretation, the limits of early science, and some clever marketing. So we can't magically unlock a hidden 90% of our brain, but that doesn't mean we can't improve our brain's performance. The key isn't to activate more of your brain, but to make the connections within your brain stronger, faster, more efficient. Think of it like exercising your muscles. You can do the same for your brain. One of the best ways to do this is to never stop learning. Challenge your brain with new things, whether it's learning to play a musical instrument, trying a new language, solving puzzles, reading about a topic you know nothing about. Physical exercise is also fantastic for your brain. When you get your heart pumping, you send more oxygen-rich blood to your head. It also reduces stress and improves your mood. Don't forget the importance of sleep and social connection. Your brain does critical cleanup and memory work while you sleep. Quality rest is non-negotiable. Spending time with friends and loved ones isn't just fun, it's a complex mental workout. Socializing requires you to listen. Process information, feel empathy, communicate. Strong social ties link to better cognitive function and lower dementia risk. We are social creatures, and our brains thrive on connection. In conclusion, the secret unused part of your brain is a myth. The truth is better. You have a powerful, dynamic, fully active brain working for you right now. You have all the brain you need to do amazing things. By embracing lifelong learning, staying physically active, getting good sleep, connecting with others, you can make your brain healthier and more efficient. Growth and improvement are real, not from sci-fi, but from care and understanding. It comes from taking care of the amazing organ you already have. Now that's a thought worth considering.